listen up, you guys, because I'm only gonna say this one time, or maybe once. Happy Friday. This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. I wanted to jump in here today, tap in, make another video. Like I said, I do this for you guys. Beautiful weather we have in the day. I appreciate it. Makes things, I don't know, just good weather just makes me feel good. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me feel good. But anyway, I want to talk about some issues, some things that I continue to observe and recognize. And this is, I guess, a collective type of ordeal. One of the things that I continue to realize is the amount of hypocrisy, disrespect, disregard, lack of value when it comes to the men that exist in this society today. And this disrespect and this disregard and this lack of value that is being given to the men that exist is coming from, the women community, the female population. And it's crazy to me. I'm finding it, I won't say difficult, because it's like I said, it's a loaded type of ordeal. There's things like, I guess what I'll talk about particularly today, to keep it, subject based, is I want to talk about how asinine and how crazy I believe it is that women disregard the value that is men, so much so that they use words like, you're not on my level, or I want to find my equal. And that's confusing to me. That's confusing to me for a number of reasons. Why you say that, Daniel? It's confusing to me because if ever a woman is considering dealing with a man in a romantic capacity, she is essentially dealing with her equal. Now, how can you say that? I can say that because unless you're dealing with another species, women, you're dealing with your equal. Now, I think as our societies have progressed, what is starting to happen, or I won't even say starting to happen, what has continued to happen is that things like education, success, careers, accolades, reaching certain heights of success. And success is one of them things that is very subjective because everyone has their own level and definition of success. But for sake of argument, you know what we're talking about: money, status, houses, cars, the ability to provide a level of a lifestyle that represents quality, maybe even be somewhat of an envy-based type of lifestyle. So that level of success. And when I hear, as a man, females talk about, well, I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle for anyone that is beneath me, pretty much. Anyone that is not on my level. Anger's not the word that brews in me. It's more of a concern, as well as it's disturbing. I can't wrap my mind around how females that at some point in time came from male seed, came from the act of sex from someone that was a donor to her life, can come and be formed into the human being that you are, hopefully raised by your father. And even if you weren't, you were still birthed on this earth, so say thank you. And then have the nerve to say, well, I don't want to settle for just any man. All right? What does that mean? My interpretation of it is that you assume whatever you've done up to this point in your life, whether that be education, success, reaching certain levels of accomplishment, which great, good. I applaud that. I feel everybody should be their absolute best, living their absolute best life. However, I have a problem when I hear the verbiage that is, I don't want to settle for someone who is not on my level. Now, some may be hearing my voice and saying, well, you sound like this may pertain to you, or you're taking this personal from a place of you not being on a level. No, not at all. I'm actually quite well off. I'm very blessed. I've said that before throughout some of my broadcasts. So why is this concerning for me? Well, it's concerning because as I continue to look out into the world and I continue to socialize and interact with people, males and females, it's starting to become apparent that there's a big amount of delusion that is coming from people assuming that based on the fact that you've been able to accomplish certain things, attain certain levels of education, positions in corporations, maybe even start your own business. Great. But how does that outrank you for human beings? If you're gonna deal in the realm of dating, courting, potentially marriage at one point, there is no such level of success. There is no such position in life that you gain that outranks you for people. That is disturbing. I feel that may be even somewhat of a mental condition. And it's so crazy that you have women who will say without batting an eye, I'd rather have a dog than have a trash man. I'd rather have an animal than have a human being. I don't know if I told this story before. If I did, forgive me. Some things I'm going to repeat because I feel that they're relevant. But I'm going to give you an example, something I actually experienced in my own life. There was one time some years ago where I was going to go visit a young lady at a point when we were getting to know each other. We weren't dating, but we were getting to know each other. She stayed out of state. We met here in California, but we stayed out of state. But anyway, long story short, what was the demise of that relationship was that she had dogs. And when we were talking about the plans and I was saying, I would come visit, and she was like, yeah, you can stay here with me and my babies. And I'm like, your babies? She's like, yeah, my dogs, they can sleep in the bed with us and so on. And I told her, no, I'm not going to get on a plane and come visit you for a few days and be subjected to having to sleep with dogs. I don't have dogs, and I'm not really comfortable with laying with dogs. And she was like, well, I'm sorry. That's how it's going to be, Now, mind you, fairly successful young lady, pretty, on paper, she was legitimate. However, it was apparent why she was single. It was apparent more in that conversation than any other time. Because in her mind, she had created this life and this standard that did not factor in the man that was gonna maybe come into her life to join her on this journey, right? So much so that she thought it was okay to subject me, or maybe even any other man, to her lifestyle. And that was disturbing to me for a lot of reasons. Mainly because it lacked consideration, empathy, hospitality. There was so much wrong with that equation because I couldn't wrap around my mind how you would have the opportunity to be engaged with an actual human being, an actual man, like living, breathing, talking man, and you're with your dogs all the time, but because that's what you've placed so much importance, to the point that it was either equal or higher in her mind. That's crazy. There is something tremendously wrong with a person that takes an animal and places more value on that animal than a human's life, a human's comfort. There's something wrong. I'm sorry. If there's these memes sometimes that you see where obviously life or death situations that you have a man over the edge and he's holding like his woman in one hand and then like either a bag of money or something of value. And it says, which one do you have to let go if you could only save one? If I had my woman in one hand and my animal, without question, My animal, seriously? Without question. There's no equation that would have me build more value into my pet than my woman, than my partner, than someone that I'm looking to build my life with. And that's the mindset that exists right now in the modern day. That you have females that have devalued us men so much that you don't even bring more value than Fido, Lassie, whatever they name, Hershey, whatever they call these dogs, nowadays. That's concerning. Now, for the last few minutes that I have, with this broadcast, because like I said, this is a loaded type of situation. It's collective. It's so many points I got to hit on, and that's why I'm here. But anyway, a part of that, I know, it's not all the female's fault. It's not all women's fault. And you're gonna rarely hear me say that, but in this case, it's not all females' fault. I have to hold men personally accountable for not only creating the standard, but then not upholding the standard and not enforcing the standard. What do I mean by enforcing the standard? Well, in that equation, when I was presented with something that was below my standard of treatment, I told her simply, look, I'm not signing up for that. I'll still come visit you. If I need to go stay at a hotel or whatever, that's cool. I'm cool with that. And she was, why you can't stay here? I'm offering you my home. Yeah, but you're offering me your home in a way that I'm going to be subjected to treatment that I don't want to be subjected to. So I'm not going to spend my money to go see you and visit you and have to deal with your crappy presentation. Period, point blank. And then that connection ended up dissolving. I'm not mad. That's fine. She obviously did not understand the equation that was occurring because she had a full-fledged human man that was willing to come hang out with her in her city, get to know her, vibe out, have a good time, whatever. But that wasn't as valuable to her as spending the night with her dogs. That's insane. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Men, a part of the reason why this is existing is because you guys are not holding it down. Now, what I mean by that, I'm not talking about how much money you make. That's a part of it. I'm not talking about the level of productivity. That's a part of it. One of the main things that I see is that you got so many men nowadays that are terrified of being able to just speak their mind. Right, wrong, indifferent. Opinion is opinion. Now, as I do feel like you should be somebody that speaks from a place of facts, place of experience, and coming from a place of love. Because that's why I do this. I'm not sitting here running my mouth because I don't got nothing else to do. I feel that the world is still suffering from awareness on a lot of levels. And you got people who are so delusional and so removed and so clueless on very basic things. But men, the reason why these females act the way they do, they don't know any better because you're not showing them no better. They don't know any better because you're not speaking up and telling them, this is what I want. This is what I like. This is how it's going to be. This is what I need from you. Otherwise, we don't have to rock. We don't have to engage at this level. And that's okay. But you got these women running around in the mindset of delusion a lot of times, unrealistic expectation, very self-centered mindsets on a toxic level. And the main reason is not because, it's just them being bad people. It's because you don't got enough men doing what I'm doing right now, speaking on standard, on what I will sign up for, participate in, allow. At the end of it all, when we take away the success, the accolades, the cars, the houses, the money, the status, you're dealing with a person on an organic level, like human to human, person to person, male to female, female to male. That right there has no status. It has no level. It has no real tangible value because we are of the same species. And the problem is that you don't got enough men who have the balls to just be like, look, sweetie, hey, this is the standard. You don't have standards for yourself as men. And then because you don't have standards as men, you can't convey it because you stand for nothing. You have to have a standard in yourself. You know, I'm personally tired of seeing men not have a standard, not being able to be consistent in their character, know what they will sign up for, what they won't sign up for, what they bring to the table, what they're able to produce, what they're able to create, and not be shy or bashful about it. You know, that to me is of the utmost value. That is what's missing more than anything that's currently going on in our society. You know, it's not a lack of female presentation or representation, better word. There's a ton of you guys, but my men don't know who they are, don't have a clue on how to do this thing. And it's not something you learn overnight. It's not just your physique, fellas. You can be I have met the most talented, athletically talented, you know, athletically inclined, physically fit men, physique wise, and in their mind is underdeveloped, and their spirit are underdeveloped, don't have a clue on how to do this thing, how to be able to formulate their thoughts and then convey it in a way that is productive, beneficial, consistent. And then you have these interactions that happen where, you know, I've shared with you guys, I like to go out a lot. I like to dance. That's my thing. I enjoy it. So I find myself at a lot of different spots. You know, I go, you know, salsa dancing, you know, I've line danced before, hip hop, reggaeton, reggae, you name it, dance hall, you name it. And in some of those social interactions, what I continue to find is how something as simple as me just asking questions, and not deep, thought-provoking questions. You know, where are you from? Oh, your family's from, you know, Belize. Oh, okay. Well, are you first generation, second generation, or, you know, just general, in my opinion, what you would have conversations about. And you should see the look on some of these females' face, like it's the first time they were hearing anyone inquire, you know, you're studying psychology. All right, what made you want to study that? And they're like, feeling questioned. And anyway, what I'm saying is that it's almost like they're not used to hearing males' voices in a way that is outside of talking about sports, video games, like, and I've observed that, and that's concerning, because you have so many people and so many situations and connections that are occurring, that just because men are not willing to stand by their own truth, their own outlook, their own viewpoints, their own opinion, and terrified at the response of what's gonna happen if I tell her how I see it or how I feel. Fellas, you need to man the heck up. Every woman's not gonna agree with what you say. Every woman's not gonna feel okay with how you see things. But it's your job to create a standard, hold a standard, and then vocalize that standard, as well as showcase that standard. Because, and it's not on a one-dimensional level. What do I mean? It's not just your woman. It's not just the one you're with. This is your responsibility to mankind, your neighborhood, your workplace. You know, I can't tell you how many times I'm out in public, you know, and I hear other people, other nationalities, as well as my own community, using the N-word. And, you know, depending on the situation, I'll be like, excuse me, hey, don't talk like that. That's not cool. And it's not met with combative energy. A lot of times they apologize, because the reality is they're only okay with using this verbiage because they feel it's okay. They feel it's okay because we've said it's okay. And that's what I wanted to convey today. You know, multiple points, but that one in particular. Men, you permit what goes on in the world. We permit. We are the gatekeepers of the rules and the standard and how things move and how things flow. That's a powerful position to be in. So stop backing off of it. Stop running from the energy that you're going to get, the pushback that you're going to get, because guess what? You're built for it. I don't want to continue to do this by myself. I believe in every single one of you men out here that's holding it down and holding the fort down. So join it. Join the fight. Join it. Don't be afraid. Don't back up. Don't back down. Because I promise you, they need to hear the truth and the outlook and the viewpoint and the perspective coming from more men. So that's what I wanted to touch on today. I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. I want to touch down and connect with you guys before we went into the weekend. I appreciate you for hanging out with me for these last 21 minutes and some change. Continue to go ahead and like the content, subscribe. I appreciate it. I really do. And I'm going to continue to come with my viewpoint, my outlook, and my perspective, because I feel at any time it's necessary to continue to expand upon our mindset as a people. So you guys have a good one. Thank you very much. This is Daniel Rucker signing out. You guys be easy. Thank you.